It is Saturday, September the 28th, 2024. It's about 5 in the morning, and it is finally autumn, our favorite season. And today we are here at the Wild Basin Trailhead, and our goal will be the Big Dome Dude, Copeland Mountain. It's well before sunrise, and of course, we're ready to get started. Our first stop today to start bushwhacking, we're headed towards Ouzel Lake. Here's the split we want. I think this morning we're going to take the campsite trail, and on the way back later we might take Calypso Cascades. And we started so early this morning that we're going to be hiking in the dark for about an hour and a half. It's pretty awesome. A great way to start the autumn season. I feel like I'm in the Blair Witch Project, and if I find one of those stick figures, I'm just going to keep it as a souvenir. And just like last week's hike, on the way back, if there's still some good fall foliage, I'm gonna get it on video for you, so stay tuned. Made to the next split where we are taking a left. Heading up to Ouzel Lake. And here is where we want to take a left to go down to Ouzel Lake and get a look at our destination up there, Copeland Mountain. Welcome to Ouzel Lake. This is our first time here. And to hike out this way, it took us 2 hours and 22 minutes to hike 5.1 miles. And after surveying the landscape around here, we think the best place to cross is going to be back behind us. All right, let's give it a shot. All right. We got over safely. Now we're starting the bushwhack. It's getting a little swampy on this side. We got around the lake, and from this point we're going to be bushwhacking south for a while. So far the bushwhack's not too bad. Plenty of space to maneuver. Every time we've hit a big pile of deadfall, we've been able to easily maneuver around it. I'm just gonna keep heading south. And we came around there, went through them. Not too bad. Got some rocks to walk on. I'm going to take it over there and up. This side of the mountain is too steep, so we're continuing the bushwhack in this direction to finally gain the ridge, and then we'll turn it up. We just took a 15-minute break, and now we're back at it. And we just bushwhacked through there because I saw this. I'm gonna take it up. And the summit is straight that way. So I think we're gonna go over here and zigzag our way up. You do have another option to go up here and then turn it over as well. Out of the tree line here. And I checked the GPS, and as the crow flies, we are just under 1 mile to the summit. However, we still have about 2,000 vertical feet left to gain. It's packing it all in at the end. Yeah, and ever since getting out of the trees down there and coming up this never-ending hill, it's gotten pretty steep. So I've been like hiking 20 or 30 feet, get out of breath, stop, catch my breath, rinse and repeat for probably the next hour or more. You know, the terrain actually isn't that bad. The real challenge is this monotonous, long slog up this steep hill. It just goes on and on. Just keep grinding. As the crow flies, the summit's about in this direction. There's about a half of a mile left and still 1,000 vertical feet to climb. But I think I'm gonna hike this way a little bit, and then I'll have to turn it to the right. And from here, we're about 0.4 miles from the summit, and it's straight that way. But I think I see a grass patch over here I'm gonna walk over to, and then it goes up that way. Yeah, our pace is starting to slow down considerably, and we still have about 500 vertical feet left to climb. Oh yeah, we're getting tired, but we're also getting very close to bagging this peak. Oh, the steepness finally gave away here at the end. And just when you think you got it, you don't. Pretty sure I got to walk all the way there to the back. All the trip reports were exactly right. Every one I read and every video I researched on this hike. That hill goes on forever. The sweet sight of success. We finally made it to Copeland Mountain Summit. Register. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Boom! Copeland Mountain in the books. And for us to hike out here today, it took us 5 hours and 54 minutes to hike about 7.6 miles. Did you think this was a tougher hike than last week doing Storm Peak?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I agree. I also think there was more loose rock hiking up this one than the last one, but wasn't a whole lot, but there was definitely more. It's super quiet up here today. Hardly any wind. We've taken about an hour break and we'll be heading out here shortly. We met another hiker at the summit and he hiked up from the Finch Lake, Pear Lake side. It's been a little cloudy up here, but virtually no wind. Here, y'all can see what I was talking about, how the rocks are kind of loose on this slope. You hear them? Just gotta be careful, especially on the way down. At the moment, I'm aiming for that rock straight out. Here's the rock I've been aiming for the last 10 minutes or so. Kind of looks like a shark's tooth. Yeah, this giant hill may take forever, but it's much nicer on the way down. Of course, my current trajectory is starting to turn and heading in a general direction that way, making our way back to the tree line. And from here, I'm kind of heading straight. I'm going to hit on the right side of those trees right there. There's the landmark I was looking for, that yellow bush right there. Now remember that on the way up, you need to stay on this side of it and then start hooking left after it. And you can see Ouzel Lake down there. That's our destination to get back on the trail. And we're back in the trees. Start the bushwhack back down to Ouzel Lake. I had to come through the trees there. And now I found the route down that we took up. And we're gonna skirt this side of it and head back into the trees down there. And here's where we popped out, just still skirting the edge like that. And out of the trees briefly and onto another rock field where once again I'm going to stay on the edge. We just came from that little rock field over that log and we're going to go down this way. It's a little steep in this section, but it's all right. I'm just doing mini switchbacks. And we have almost made it back to Ouzel Lake. Check it out, stepped in a mud hole. Away she goes. And now it's time for Christine's favorite part of the hike, the water crossing. Waterproof boots for the win here. Very slippery. Going super slow. Don't fall. All right. We got across the creek safely. Our totals for the day are 9 hours and 9 minutes and about 10.1 miles. And from the summit of Copeland Mountain to get here, it took us about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And that creek crossing washed the mud off my boots. I appreciate that. Taking a right and heading out. And as promised, I'm gonna get some fall foliage on the way back. The rare orange aspen. Most of the ones I find are typically yellow. Like these. Gotta get all the orange ones. Gotta collect them all. Back to the next split. And this morning we came from that way, but we've only ever hiked this trail once out of all the times we've been here. So we're gonna take that way back. I'm looking forward to comparing the distance stats between this trail and that campsite trail we took this morning. What I just got a shot of over that bridge, it was Ouzel Falls. This thing is roaring in the spring. It's just a trickle in the fall. And at this sign, we're taking a left, heading back down to the campsite cutoff trail. And we're passing that campsite cutoff. And now it's time to compare and contrast. And we are comparing distance between this split going up the campsite cutoff trail all the way over to the Bluebird Ouzel Lake split. And we're comparing that distance to the Bluebird Ouzel Lake split, taking the falls route back to the same point. All right, it's time to judge. First things first, terrain. Campsite trail or the falls trail?
I guess the falls trail had more flat, but it still got pretty rocky.
It got rocky at times, but it had like intervals. I'm going with the falls. I like the falls trail a little better than the campsite trail. And now for the moment of truth. What's the distance from here to the Ouzel Bluebird Lake split?
1.75.
We had 1.75 miles.
Yeah.
And from the Ouzel Bluebird Lake split with the different trail back to here, we also had
1.75.
1.75 miles. We have debunked that the campsite trail is shorter. It is not. Yeah, maybe if you're going to Thunder Lake or the Lions Lake. And I also know that GPSs aren't perfect, but I'm using the data and measurements that I have. That's all I got to work with. This part's newer on the trail, but if you ask me, I think it sucks because all the rocks are loose between each piece of wood. Just give me dirt. And we're done. Back to the car.
Woohoo.
And we got Copeland Mountain. A long time in the making. This one's been on the list for a while.
Yeah.
And Christine, I think it must be because it's autumn. And I must be in the spirit because I thought that slope going up Copeland was gonna kill me. But I'm alive. I'm alive. And I don't know, there's not much more to say about Copeland other than what you saw on film. I agree with every trip report that I read and every video that I watched. And I said that earlier today. I thought Storm Peak last week was a slog up the hill. Please, Copeland Mountain said, hold my beer. That was a slog going up. But I tell you what, I'm not beat up at the end of the day. I thought I was gonna be. It's because it's finally autumn. I think that's what it is. Because down in the Front Range, it's still hot. Sucks. I can't wait for the 80s and 90s to go away. It's time for fall, people. You know it. All right. For Copeland Mountain, today, it took us 11 hours and 11 minutes to hike 15.1 miles and with a total elevation gain of 4,980 feet.
Woo-wee.
He's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys know the drill. Until the next one. Boom!